Does it matter to you? I mean, I know the special teams were looking at it. Coach Spags was just commenting on it. How about for you? Does it do anything at all?
Well, you always want your guys to be aware of the field. It's their jobs to make sure they got the right shoes on. So when it's all said and done with, they got to be professional, go out and play, make sure they can play over their feet, have a complete bend in their ankles, knees, and hips. And if you're playing with the right leverage, it shouldn't be an issue.
Are you a fan of the no-look pass? Where do you fall in that spectrum?
I'm a fan when it works. I mean, Pat was being Pat. You know, I mean, obviously you want the kid to be who he is, but at the same time, you want him to make sure he's doing the right thing at the right time. He understands what he did, and nothing else needs to be said.
Are you comfortable that he's 100%, that he'll be able to scramble with that ankle just like he always does?
He was full go yesterday, and one thing, we're not changing anything. We're not deviate from the game plan. We're going to go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and Pat's going to be Pat.
You never want to see anyone get hurt, but was it a sigh of relief that your team doesn't have to go against Abram, who looked really, really good in that Week 1 game?
I'll say this, just as a fan of football, you never want to see kids get hurt. I watched that kid play in college. I thought that kid brought an old school style of play to the game, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt. And you never want to see anybody get hurt. And me personally, just because I had an opportunity to watch the kid, it seemed like a few times, I hate it for the kid more than anything.
Seeing the running backs in Week 1, how do you feel like they did as a committee, as a whole?
You know what? I thought they played hard. They played fast. There's a lot of things that we still can detail, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. But when it's all said and done with, we found a way to win, and that's all we can ask for.
I was curious if you've ever played on dirt.
Played on an infield and at old school Jack Murphy Stadium. Field conditions wasn't always perfect, but you know what? You put the right shoes on. You play with the proper leverage, and just like I said, you got to have a bend in your ankles, knees, and hips, and everything that you do. Then you'll make sure you won't have any issues falling.
How about when you do fall? Does it feel a little different to fall in the dirt than grass or turf?
I mean, it's football. I mean, it's dirt. I played on old school turf. You know, it was like this, so the dirt was probably a lot softer.
You actually said one time, if I remember correctly, that you would play like in a parking lot or an alley. Do you tell that and drive that mentality with your team this week like doesn't that?
Well, that's just the mentality of our team. That's the type of people that we have. They don't care what we play or who we play. At the end of the day, they just want to put the pads on and have an opportunity to go out there and do what they do best, and that's just to enjoy the game that they love.
What tells you that Mecole Hardman is ready for this stage with Hill being out and having to maybe get into the mix a little bit sooner?
Since we've been here, we've always had a next man up approach. We coach our starters to be the starters, but we also coach our guys who are backing those guys up in key positions to be starters and to take their job. So it's his job now to make sure that we don't lose anything with him being out there. He understands the responsibility and the accountability that he has to his teammates and the people in that room, and also to Tyreek as well. So our guys get that, they understand that, and they live upon that. And so we're looking forward to him getting out there and making the most of the opportunity that he's being presented with.
Coach, I'm sure you watched the game Monday night. How do you see the Raiders' defense this year?
I see a lot of juice, a lot of energy, and guys flying around. And that's a great thing.
So what concerns do you have when you're preparing for them?
I mean, it's just like any opponent. There's some things that they do well, and there's some things that they do great. I will say this, the front four, I thought did a heck of a job getting up the field and getting after the quarterback. I like what the secondary did. The secondary was flying around, and I thought the backers did a heck of a job. In total, I just thought they played great team defense, and that's all you want to see. You know, these guys are flying around. Just like I said, being a fan of football, you hate to see the kid 24 go down. You know, watching 73, the kid Hurst, watching the young kid from Clemson, number 96, jump in there and do the things that he did. On top of that, number 91. I mean, those guys were flying around, and it's fun to watch, but also, too, we understand that we're going to get your best shot. So when you know that you're going to get your best shot, we have to make sure that we're playing our most detailed and disciplined ball game and going out there and executing our job with great attention to details as well.
Coach, do you feel like Sammy's work in the offseason is paying off? He's getting yards after the catch and looks like he's doing pretty well. He says he's feeling more relaxed. Is that showing anything for you?
It is. Obviously, Sammy's done a great job of taking care of his body. He works at it. Sammy's truly a professional, and just thinking about the progress that he's made just in the calendar year says a lot. I'm not surprised by the success that he had last week because of the way he works in practice, but I'm also expecting to see him do it on a week-to-week basis. I told him he didn't put it on tape, and what you put on tape is a direct reflection of who we are. So let's make sure that we continue with that trend.
Coach, this is probably the last Chiefs-Raiders game in Oakland. You're going to move to Vegas. I guess there could be something in the postseason. But what are your memories of just the Raiders in California? They were in LA for a while when you were growing up. They were in Oakland when you were a kid and back. Just what are your thoughts about that franchise and kind of this rivalry? And is it going to be different in Vegas, or are you sad to see them leave the state?
I don't think it'll be different because they will always be the Raiders. But I will say this, it'll be different because it'll be in a different location because they're outside of California. And Silver and Black brings a type of swag to the state of California. And I know when they were down in L.A., it brought a type of swag in the L.A. area. And I know Oakland have had that swag for years, just the history and success that they had with the number of players over the course of the time that they've been there. But yes, just being a fan of football, I'm a little disappointed that they're leaving, but I do understand this, that the rivalry still will continue, whether they're in Las Vegas, South Dakota, it does not matter. This is the old school AFC West. You knuckle up and you play ball.
Did you like the Raiders when you were a kid growing up out there? Was that a team that you liked and followed?
I will say this, being in the AFC West and growing up, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say. But I was a Cliff Branch fan. Who wasn't a Ken Stabler fan? Marcus Allen. I grew up watching Marcus Allen play. So I've always been a Raider fan until I got drafted in the league and I played with the San Diego Chargers. And then you learn to dislike the Raiders.
So what you're going to say is you didn't like the Chiefs back.
I will say this. I had a great deal of fun playing in the AFC West. And it's good to be in this division because there's a lot of history between all of these teams, and that's what makes it fun.
Which I know it's your second road game in a row, but the game in Jacksonville is about 50% Chiefs fans. It's not necessarily going to be the atmosphere in Oakland on Sunday. And you watched the game against the Broncos. The crowd was into it. I know fast starts are always important, but what are you expecting from the crowd? How important is it to not take them out of it, but to get off to a good start and not let them feed off that?
The Oakland fan base has always been one that have been great. And I mean, through the highs and the lows. But I will say this, that team, the Oakland Raiders, since we've been here, every year they play us tough at home. And so it's our job as a team to make sure that we come out and do what we do and make sure that we don't fall victim to the crowd noise. Obviously, they're going to have some success. We want to make sure that we can weather any storms if we have any issues to start the game off with, but that's just a part of the process. But it's our job to make sure our guys are playing sound football, that we're putting them in the right positions to win and execute, but making sure that they go out and be them and just let their personality show.